to the power of purpose. We know that all things work together for good. Whether be it ugly, whatever you have gone through, somehow it will align up to make you the best that you could be. We know that there is always a battle between shadows and reality life. And sometimes acrimonious of life can block your ears to your destiny to become the best that you could be. Today I have a special guest who has overcome the shadows of life into reality, overcome the acrimonious of life to hear the voice of destiny. How are you?
I'm very well, Tony. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great. It's good to have you again. Just in case audience doesn't know who is Mumzy, so who are you describing yourself? How will you describe yourself in a very short way? Who is Mumzy?
Well, Mumzy Chukwu. And my name is Miriam Chukwu, but better known as Mumzy Chukwu, stage name, of course, and everywhere.
Yes.
Through my books I'm writing, everything, I'm just known as Mumzy Chukwu. But Mumzy Chukwu is it's a lady that grew up very resentful, felt a massive rejection in my childhood. You know, I grew up with my father alone. Yes, and then later my father married, and then I grew up also with my stepmother. So since the age of 2 years old, when my mother gave me away to my father, or my father took me up, I never knew my mother until the age of 16 when I discovered, you know. So I always used to, maybe I should not go so much detailed now.
No, it's okay. Please do.
Yeah, but I just always used to wonder, you know, you grow up with this woman. Okay, yes, she loved you, but there was always that difference in the way she treated you. But back then, I did not know that she was not my mother. That was not my
stepmom.
My stepmom, yeah. But then there was always that difference. Then I felt, no man, there's something wrong. So, but eventually at the age of 16, my mother appeared, and then she introduced herself that, no, this is your biological mother. I said, what? Okay. So you were not my mother. So, okay, yeah, no, I was not your mother. Yeah. So then now, you know, the puzzle started to get closer that, okay, maybe that's why I was being treated a little bit different from the other children and all that. But so that was Mumzy Chukwu's upbringing, you know. I grew up there and being rejected, and I gave my life to the Lord, or I accepted Christ at a very tender age of 16 years as well. Okay. Almost after I met my mother there, the time I accepted Christ in my life. And so also through that again, bringing again this Christianity and all these things to my father back home, it was again another trouble at home, of where I felt even the worst rejection ever, because now the only person that I could rely on was my father. But then he had to reject me because of Christ. He was saying that, no, yeah, you are a hero child, and you should go to the holy fire, and you should do this and that, cultural things. And then, you know, that time, those years when we gave our lives to the Lord, the early 90s, you know, we were so on fire, can you say, for God, you know. Yes. So we didn't want to hear anything controversial or anything different from what the truth, the little truth that we knew back then, you understand? So it's like, no, if you don't want me, and if you don't want to go to the holy fire, you should get out of my house. So I say, okay, no, I'll go, because God will take care of me. Yeah, so I got out there, and then I had nobody to take care of me until I met this beautiful Zambian woman, Elinati Zulu, who took me as her own. This is my mother. This is the woman, even my own biological mother knows that Miriam's mother, Mumzy's mother is Elinati Zulu. Everybody knows it, because this woman took me at a very tender age in her house, and I grew up with her son, Solani, and that's how I grew up now, in the moral values of a Zambian woman. I knew how to kneel down and serve people. I knew how to cook, because mom was a chef, mom was a clean lady, and you know, I received love, and I there's no one else to thank but God in this stage, because I felt so much rejection when the only person, my father, rejected me just because I'm different, you know, just because I have accepted Christ. Now he felt like, no, you are no more my child, get out of my house, and I had nowhere to go to. So this woman accepted me and brought me in and brought me up as a Zambian woman.
When this woman before accepts you, it seems you've gone through a lot of process of rejection.
Too much.
Why would your mother, at 2 years old, gives up you to your father? Was it anger, or was it situation that she couldn't just handle? Maybe some kind of situation that she couldn't handle, and she has to give up to somebody who will take care of you at that first stage.
Yes. And back then I did not understand why.
Okay.
Because my mother could also not give me a reason, and she had this hatred towards me, which I also did, my biological mother now,
yes,
towards me, that I did not understand why, you understand? So, but later with time, as we got closer and got to know each other, she told me that no, the reason why I gave you away is because I came from a very poor family.
Oh.
They came from a very poor family. They were just 2 siblings, herself and her brother and her mother, just 3 of them in their family. They only maybe had 1 or 2 cows, and they grew up very poor. So my father, now coming from a more standard or staple family, you know, so that she felt maybe I could grow up better there. But then yet again, after giving me away, she felt that maybe I would reject her because of her state. You understand? Like, no, she's a poor woman. I'm a cripple, because she has disabled on 1 leg. So he felt, yeah, you will disown me. You will not like me, and that's why also she took that long to come and see me, because she felt like, no, they are now at another class. She's in another class, and she would reject me. Yeah. And that's the explanation that she gave to me back then, which I understood.
So now, God, by mysterious or miraculous ways, He opens another door, and you step into a Zambian woman house, and you begin to be nurtured and receive love and all that process. In that teenage times, I believe in your 14, 15, 16, what pressures did you face? Some peer pressures that you faced at that time?
Yeah. Just like any young girl, of course, you would feel, especially having been rejected.
Yes.
And I also remember very well that the first ever guy that proposed to me or showed me a little love was also at the age of 16, I think so, where he approached me. But because you have felt so much rejection, when that person just say, I love you, it was like, wow, so somebody can love me. Yeah, so it was like an opening that, wow, somebody can love a girl like me. I've been rejected by my mother, because that time I just felt so much rejection. Why did my mother not raise me? Why? And there was no answers. I only understood it now in my 30s, the answers to all these questions. So I grew up with all the pressures of being lonely, you know, so you want to fit in. I remember in my early childhood as well, I joined a group. You know, the musician Dinaf, we came a long way. Back then he was a gangster, weed, smoking weed and all. But I was just trying to fit in. Where do I belong? You know. So since I had this interest in art, in drama, theater, and things like that, that's where I met the dean of them. And so I hang around these guys who were smoking, and I was trying to be like a tomboy kind of, you know, trying to be cool, you know, just to fit in, just to fit in, because I felt maybe if I try to be a little bit cool, people will accept me, people will love me. So I went through all that pressure just because of the rejection that I felt in my early childhood.
Fast forward, you begin to battle through life to find your stable feet, find some kind of work to do, to become the person that everybody thinks you should be. Have a stable life, like find like a small job or something. How was the process now growing up and finding those challenges?
Yeah, so growing up with mom as well, mom, my Zambian mother now.
Okay,
yes, yeah. It was also a little bit challenging because she didn't also have much. but she had a big heart, and she wanted to accommodate so many children. She took in so many Namibian children, and she wanted to accommodate us all. So we didn't have much, even for me perhaps to pay my school fees. I wanted to study further. Of course, my grade 12 results were not as good as I would have wanted them to be, but it's also due to all these things that I had to face. But then I also wanted to go and study further, so I had to get a job. So I remember my first job of just getting a salary of $400. And then I of course, that $400 was not good enough for me even to feed and take transport. I used to trek to town every day, walk to town. Yes, just because the salary is just like a 400. Later it became 800, and then so I had to walk to town every day, to and fro. So and then eventually I started to get an interest in computers and graphics, and then I got a better job, a better job, until I get a job where I could pay my Polytechnic back in the days. It was called Polytechnic. Now it's called NUST, the University of Science and Technology. So I did my diploma at NUST, and that's how I managed to get my first job and get into school. But of course I could not also pay this school very well, so I had to drop out several times, but I had that determination that I can make it, and I just had to work harder, get a better job, work harder, do extra jobs just to put a little bit money on the table so that I can be able to study, and as well with the help of mom as well.
I remember by the time I get to know you, you were doing some posters, designing, all that kind of graphics, and so it's not many women you find doing that, or ladies.
Yes.
and it shows how passionate and how driven you were to be able to achieve something. Moving further, you're growing now into a woman, and things begin to fall into place. Suddenly you meet this wonderful man. Tell us about that story.
Yes. So, you know, I don't know why that rejection always followed me so much in my life, throughout my life, from my childhood. So even when I started my first love life, you know, I met a guy, church guy, you know.
Yes.
I felt like, oh, maybe this is the right guy, you know. And this was a Herero guy, you know. But this person ended up, you know, after all the preparations, we were ready for marriage like within 3 months. Wedding preparations with this Herero guy.
Yes.
And then just 3 months or so to our wedding, he decided that, no, I met another girl from my church.
Just like that?
We were in different churches. So he said, no, I met another girl from my church, and I don't think it will work between us. So once again, I was struck by rejection at the hardest moment of my life. So that rejection was so painful that at that time I decided that, you know, let me just give up everything. Yeah, so I told myself that, what the hell? What is there to live for? I don't have kids, I don't have serious commitments. Let me just get out of this country. So I decided, I quit. I resigned from my work. I went to stay in South Africa with my pastor Moses that time, in South Africa for a few months. And then from there, I met a guy. No, actually I met him before I traveled to South Africa. I met a guy online. So we get to know each other. You know, okay, it's nice. And then I went to stay in South Africa with my pastor. And then he bought a ticket for me. He said, wow, don't you want to come all the way to Malaysia? So I told myself that, oh, what the hell, you know, it's like I was really heartbroken, you know. And that time you have nothing to lose. You have lost it all already. So I just decided, let me take this risk. Oh, my father didn't like the idea. People will go and kill you and cook you and you know. But I just told myself that I have nothing to lose. I've been rejected enough and people don't love me. So if this guy seems like he likes me so much, he bought an air ticket for me, why not go all the way to Malaysia? We went there. I used to say that that airplane experience was the worst one after it landed, because now I'm thinking, gee, what is this guy? He's a cripple guy, you know. And back in the time, you know, it was not the video calls, you know. It was more just, oh, send me your picture. I send you my picture. It could be a wrong picture that somebody's sending you, and then, and I was thinking, oh my God. So when I was at the airport, I was just like looking around. If I saw a cripple guy, I look away, because what if it is him? You know, like, oh my God. Wow. Yeah, but I thank God, you know, when God connects you right, He just makes everything right, really. So when I met him, it was really him. He was just as tall as he is and everything. And then we met, and then I went to see him, and then, oh, it was such a beautiful romantic story, because from there, he wanted to marry me immediately. I say, from the airport already, we went to his pastor's. He said he wants to marry me. I said, no, where? I was not scared. Like, why is this guy so much in a hurry? Like, of course, you know, at first you were in a hurry to meet the right person, and then now that you met the right person, you feel like they are going too fast.
They are going too fast.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, but why are you so fast?
Also because of the past experience, you didn't want just to jump in.
Yes, you didn't want to jump in and then end up being hurt again. Yeah, so but we met, and then it was a beautiful love story there in Malaysia. Later, I brought him back here to Namibia, because it was either we come back here or we go Nigeria or anywhere else. But then I thought, I can get a job here, so let's go back. I get a job. I'm a hardworking girl, and I want to work on my own things.
Great. So you meet Mr. Anton, and you come back. People get married. You've been married for approximately 10, 15 years?
No, 11.
11 years.
Yes.
So you were married for 11 years. You're still married.
Yes.
And how has been the experience? Because most people feel like, oh, no, you marry a Nigerian or a foreigner. Some experience. How has been your experience in your marriage so far?
No, I mean, I had one of the most beautiful marriages really so far in these 11 years, because I met a person who is very loving, and not only loving, but he was a person who supported what I believed in, you know. Like, for example, myself, I wanted to study. He said, pursue your dreams, you know. Somebody who pushed you, like, because like when he came here at first, he didn't have a job, he didn't have a business or anything like that. So he would say that, no, I'll take care of the kids, you go and study. You want to study, go and study. When I started acting, he would be saying, no, you want to become an actress, right? This is, okay, but I want the money, you know, Nigerian. We can do without the money, okay. Okay, as long as they pay you, they better pay you. If they pay you, I'm good with it. Just go and pursue your dreams and become the actress that you want to become, and just bring the money home, you know. So, but, you know, of course it will, at first, acting will not pay you. You know, you have to really build yourself up to a certain level where you can at least start getting something small. But I love the fact that he really supported me in what I wanted to achieve. You know, sometimes you meet a man, it's all about him. You understand? He wants to achieve. He wants to get this. But he felt that, Miriam, you've got the talent, you are hardworking, you can achieve it, you understand? So he pushed me through my academics, from a diploma level up to now I'm a master's degree holder. It's all because of him. He pushed me through, and from how I started in the acting industry, of course we started way back, drama in school, but you know, having met you as well, boosting me up to the level that I am in my acting career as well. So he was really a beautiful husband. He never lay a hand on me. We had a beautiful, crazy love story.
Great. Though you have traveled, you're still your best husband, you're still your best father. Yeah. But people say that a child is raised by a village. You are molded from your biological parents, their DNA, what they bring in, and you are still a special woman who has gone through borders, from being a Namibian, being raised up with a Zambian woman, and then marrying a Nigerian. How has that collective helped you to become the best that you could be?
Yeah, that really helped me, because one thing that you learn when you are in a group of diverse people like this, you don't allow society to define you. You see, you try to find yourself in that place, that where am I, who am I, you understand? Because there's a reason that why God allowed me to be born a Herero and to be raised as a Zambian and to be married as a Nigerian, you know. There must be a purpose for this. So I needed to find that gap and pursue that gap, because it defines me. I wanted to find me, to define myself and to find myself in God, that God, why did you create me a Herero? And then raised up as a Zambian, and then I married, so a typical African woman that I am, Yeah. So I didn't allow society to define me. I really tried to get to know myself from all aspects, because there was a reason why I was raised as a Zambian, and I had to take some moral values from the Zambian that can make me, mold me into the woman that I am. I needed also not to let go of my origin, the Herero. There must be something in the Herero tribe that could add value to me discovering who I am right now, and as well as where I am right now as a Nigerian Igbo woman. Yeah, so everything I allowed it to define. I discovered myself, and I didn't allow society to define me. I tried to find myself through it all.
You have been highly blessed, because I would say that because you have a diverse people around you, and then beyond that you have been exposed. You have traveled overseas, you have traveled around here, your educational level. So somehow, would you say, is it these people that have brought you to that level of exposure to do certain things that you couldn't do compared to other people who are not much exposed?
Yes. I believe that everything adds value. It's like a building block. It's all a puzzle. It's all a little puzzle that I had to build my life to where I am. And so I had to take something from the Zambian perspective to be the humble, loving woman that I am, that all people know me. Yeah, so you, of course, that also allowed me to grow, to grow and to also respect my husband, perhaps, because maybe God knew that, okay, you will meet a foreign man. It's different from a traditional Herero man, maybe a stubborn man or pride man. It will be a different person. So I had to learn through that, you meet this type of person, so you need to, so all these tribes that I went through, it really added value for me to become the person that I am today.
And now you are one of the best actresses in Namibia so far. We have many, but you are one of the best. And your husband, you have done film where you have kissing scenes and romantic scenes. Was it because you were brought up with exposure and your husband understood that? Because there are people out there, they have a passion for acting or whatever they have passion for, but their spouse may not be exposed to that kind of career, and their spouse may not give them the liberty. What about you? Was it because of this man that you are able to excel in your acting career? Maybe because you understand the acting industry.
Yes, I would say that could also add value to that. That could also be one of the reasons why, because he supported me, he believed in me, and he understood that, okay, yeah, it's acting. And what is acting, So sometimes when you are working with a diverse group, that's how you are getting exposed to different type of people and how they do things differently, you understand? Yes. So he helped me to also find myself, because he felt like, okay, no, this is just acting. So if you are going out there, although sometimes he would tease you like, you just want to kiss men in the name of movies. Yeah, okay. But all in all, he understood my background, and he just wanted me to go for my goals, and really that's it.
Great. Okay, so now you have reached certain heights of success, which sometimes people, as you have narrated your background, they may see on TV, moms, and in this series, what are you acting as?
The Third Wheel.
The Third Wheel, you are
Auntie Anna Kamati.
Auntie Kamati.
Yes.
So they see all that inspiring figure. So people may not understand what you have gone through, but you have reached a lot of great heights that many people, young people, desire to reach where you are. Now you are a PhD holder, master's, or you might be getting a PhD. You might be getting a PhD. So you have now your master's holder. You are a master's holder degree. You are one of the top actors we have in Namibia. what are some of your few words would you say to young people out there who would want to pass through the road that you have passed on to reach this far?
Yes. One thing that I always encourage, even especially women in particular, is that go for your dreams, and especially try and upgrade you. Try and upgrade you. Don't only depend on a man, you know, like, okay, you're waiting for a man to put the salary down, or you're waiting for a man to pay the bills. But you are special, and you are created special with a purpose as well to fulfill. Understand? You are also adding value to your husband. You are a helper there. It's not a problem. But find you. Education is the key. They say that, you know, if education is knowledge or is power, then learning is superpower. You understand? So keep on learning, keep on upgrading yourself, and, you know, find your purpose, why God has made you, or why God has brought you on this earth. So don't let society define you. Define yourself, and define yourself in God, because only God, the Creator, knows who you are and where you need to be, you know, because your life has already been formed even before the creation of the world. So He knows you. So don't let society define you. Don't let the peer pressures. I know we all go through all these type of peer pressures, but one thing for sure is that when it comes to purpose, the good and the bad all makes up our purpose. You know, it all leads us to that one area.
It molds.
Yes, it's all part of the molding. It molds us to become the person that God wants us to become. So the little challenge that you might be facing right now could be a challenge that can lead you to become that stronger woman in the future that you need to be, to even face a greater storms of greater things in your life. And when it comes to marriage, you know, we need to just know that it's all about love and respect. For me, that has been it's all about respect. You know, when you respect your partner, when he respects you, love each other, it will all go smoothly. Yeah.
Oh, great. Mams, thank you so much for coming through. This is the power of purpose. You have heard. So though you walk through the valley of shadow of death, there is the table of greatness in front of you. You will overcome. You will be the best. Just keep on pushing. The purpose, all things work together, whatever you're going through, to align you, to bring you to the greatest that you could be. Now, until then, it's me, Anton NM, the power of purpose.